back, left and right.
Investigators also find tire impressions at the crime scene. Was there an unknown car outside Mark and Maria's home at the time of the murders? The owner of a nearby tire shop says yes.
When he heard the gunfire, he went to the edge of his property line overlooking the Russell residence and saw what he described as a gray Ford Ranger leaving the area simultaneous to that gunfire.
The windows were rolled up and tinted, so the witness can't describe or even count the occupants. The ballistic results show the bullets were fired from a single weapon and point to a lone shooter. There are no signs of forced entry, and no property is missing, so robbery seems unlikely. And the house is so far off the main highway, you would never come here just by chance. We soon suspect this was a person, the couple really were killed.
You know, it's not like Mammoth where people know each other. The rumor mill starts spreading pretty hard, and a lot of people have their own suspicions that this had something to do with the crash that Mark was involved in.
Now today, family members are going to make a plea to the public, hoping anyone will come forward to hopefully solve this case.
The news dominates the tiny town, and soon there are as many theories as residents. Mark was awaiting trial after being charged with 3 counts of manslaughter for that fatal car crash in January 2015. He was gunned down the day after the 2-year anniversary of the accident. Some townsfolk don't think it was a coincidence.
I very much believe that the shooting happened because of the crash.
Nicole says her brother was willing to take a plea deal and accept the charges. Mark was fully prepared to pay for his crimes and go to prison.
We all talked about it. We all spent Christmas together. We all spent time together because we knew it was coming, and we knew that it was going to be hard on all of us, not just Mark, you know.
They had planned to stay together through everything, you know. I think that was one of the reasons too that she moved in. And obviously it wasn't what they hoped it would be for their future, but they were ready for whatever that next chapter was going to bring them.
But despite Mark's efforts to make amends, Nicole says the father of one of the victims was out for revenge, at least on social media.
He was posting a lot of things on social media, my brother's location, where he lived, the vehicle he drove, what he looks like.
He put a bullseye on Mark's house, stuff like that.
He was always having a comment about my brother, putting my brother's picture up.
According to police, that father was frustrated by the glacial pace of the local justice system.
He was very displeased with the fact that it took 9 months for Mark to even be charged with this offense. He was very vocal and displeased with the number of continuances that the defense counsel was continually granted by the court system.
That all ended the day Mark died.
As soon as these murders happened, he went silent. Not one word was said about my brother after these murders.
The father's previous social media posts and comments are deleted. Could the murders be a case of vigilante justice? Nicole believes that the father may have paid someone to kill her brother in cold blood.
This man was coming into a lot of money at the time of the murders, and I think he might have hired somebody to come from somewhere nobody knew and kill Mark and Maria. And I think that Maria was just there at the wrong time at the wrong place, and it was intended for Mark.
Police say they've cleared the father, both as the shooter and as the mastermind of a murder for hire plot.
They said, you got an alibi. I just don't understand how that works. I just don't understand why they would let him off so easily.
During the course of the investigation, we did look at bank records, and we did not find any large sums of money transferred.
But that's not the only theory involving a criminal conspiracy.
There's a second theory out there that has something to do with drugs, and that there was a murder for hire, political contract that was offered on Mark.
According to local reporters, Mark was rumored to occasionally use drugs at the time of the fatal car accident 2 years before. The possibility that he was impaired wasn't ruled out in the early stages of the investigation.
I think the working theory was that he was high on meth during that crash. I don't know if prosecutors ever bring that information.
The father of one of the victims often referred to Mark as a tweaker in social media posts. He claimed that Mark admitted to using meth and tested positive for drugs, but police say they've exhausted every lead and eliminated that theory too. The evidence seems to point to Mark as the target of the gruesome crime, but police have another theory, which adds a shocking twist to this case. Maybe the real target was Maria. Was there something in her past that might be a motive for murder?
If your mouth is made to amaze, let Philips Sonicare give its care a raise. Get healthier gums in 2 weeks, guaranteed. Next level clean, next level care. There's always a way to make life better. Philips Sonicare. Subscribe now.
In this season of renewal, Lowe's is recommitting to our Lowe's Price Promise for competitive prices every day. And if you can find an exact item for less, we'll match it. So the possibilities can bloom. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility.
5, 10. Okay.
We got chased by these wild coyote. You were following her because she had beef jerky in her pocket.
So Black is mom. Pick that up. As long as you keep making the internet an amazing place to be, we'll keep bringing you a faster, more secure, and more amazing internet. Xfinity, the future of awesome.
There is no American dream. There are only American dreams. And at the heart of them all is a home. That's always been at the heart of Lowe's. And on our 100th birthday, our wish is to put yours a little more within reach. So, let's talk possibilities. We'll help you find, design, DIY, and install. Let's bring your dreams home. We're Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility.
At T-Mobile, we believe you should get more. Introducing Magenta Max, unlimited premium data that can't slow down based on how much smartphone data you use. Plus Netflix on us and taxes and fees included. Only at T-Mobile, the leader in 5G.
Some recipes taste better when they're prepared together. Just enough happiness, a pinch of fun, and finally, a delicious touch. Because Nutella always adds something tasty. Nutella, wake up to wow.
Discovery Plus has your number. 55,000 episodes.
Plus,
200 exclusive originals every year. Plus, give up to 1 year of Discovery Plus on Verizon with select unlimited plans. Sweet deal. Stream what you love.
Mark Reynoso and Maria de Santiago were found shot to death outside of their home in Mammoth 1 year ago. Even though detectives say their leads have run out, they believe someone holds the key to unlock this case.
On the outset of the investigation, we received approximately 5 different tips. Everything from people supposedly seen running down the river behind the residence to possible suspect at a local hotel. Each one of those tips were followed through with and exhausted.
Starving for leads, police got a new tip about an individual hiding in an abandoned building behind Mark and Maria's home at the time of the murders. Could this be an eyewitness who cracks the case?
The individual provided no information, denied any involvement, denied any knowledge, denied hearing, or even witnessing this event. And I feel like he may have heard more. I don't believe he saw anything more. He may have heard more than what he let on.
The lead starts out promising and then becomes just another frustration.
Unfortunately, 2 years later, he passed away. So that source is obviously no longer available to me.
It's a dead end, so it's frustrating.
Detectives in Pinal County are hoping for some fresh leads on a murder case in Mammoth.
After initially offering a $2,000 reward, the Reynoso family raises the amount to $10,000 for any new information regarding the shocking murders.
So it's frustrating for the families and for the investigators. They keep upping the ante, and whoever knows what happened to Mark and Maria is still sitting on that secret.
I think that nobody has been wanting to help us because my brother was on trial for manslaughter. I think that they thought maybe he got what he deserved.
Many believe the killing is payback for Mark's part in that head-on collision that killed 3 people. But is it possible that Maria, not Mark, was the murderer's target.
She didn't have any enemies. She was very respectful towards everybody in the community, and she never had any type of disputes like that.
What Maria does have is 3 former boyfriends.
Maria has a child by all 3 of the former boyfriends. 2 of the former boyfriends have been more than cooperative in this investigation. The 3rd has refused to participate in assisting in the investigation.
A year before she was shot to death, Maria had left her 3rd boyfriend for Mark. And with Mark and Maria now living together and planning to get married in a few weeks, could the couple have been murdered in a jealous rage? But Mark's sister Nicole refuses to believe this was a crime of passion.
I personally knew Maria's ex-boyfriend. I know he's upset about Maria and Mark's relationship, but I don't think that he could have killed them.
As 2 more years pass without answers, the Reynoso family loses hope.
I hope justice will be served for the murders, but with the way the investigation is going, I don't think justice will be served for the murders.
Despite the family's frustrations, police insist the case is not cold, just lukewarm.
I still consider it an active case. The sheriff's office still maintains it in our files as an active case. Obviously, I can only pursue it as new information develops.
The suspicious gray vehicle has never been identified, but police claim to be looking at 3 persons of interest. And they have a clear message for the killer.
I would like to implore them to bring some small measure of peace to these families and surrender to the nearest law enforcement agency. And if they choose not to, I'd like for them to know that we are never going to stop looking for them. And they're going to spend the rest of their days wondering if today is the day they're going to get arrested. Because we're not going to stop looking for them.
In the meantime, the small town of Mammoth continues to live in fear that a killer still walks its streets, untroubled by the police or a guilty conscience.
This is a place where people were confident and comfortable to leave their front doors open and the keys in their cars, and almost overnight that stopped. And that's such a profound change for a small community to go through, and to still not have a resolution to this is gotta be weighing on them.
For the families of Mark Reynoso and Maria de Santiago, the lack of closure is as painful as the loss.
She was like the glue to our family. She was sad and taking from us.
I lost that person that I could always go to for anything. Anytime I needed to ask a stupid question or get advice on anything or complain to or anything, she was that person for me.
It's been very rough. It's always in my minds. I'm lucky I can work every day to keep my mind busy. I gotta keep my mind going and going. But he's there constantly. Him and my dear boy.
We can't wait to introduce you to the many people that are going to be sharing their stories here with us on the Magnolia Network.
Featuring 45 original episodes and fixer-upper Welcome Home. The Magnolia Network preview. Download and stream now, only on Discovery Plus.
Somebody died.
And Eric's family says they will never be at peace until they find out what really happened on the day he died.
We watched his daughter grow up. Now his daughter has her own little son. Be a grandma. It's so proud to be a grandma. You gotta move on after the tragedy, but it's always with you. It never goes away.
I miss his hugs. I miss his laugh. But I'm still fighting for Eric's justice.
We can't wait to introduce you to the many people that are going to be sharing their stories here with us on the Magnolia Network.
Featuring 45 original episodes and fixer-upper Welcome Home. The Magnolia Network preview. Download and stream now, only on Discovery Plus.
Oh, go. Better than go big with Discovery Plus. It's incredible, right? With more originals and exclusive shows.
Let's go.
And more of what you love for just $4.99. Sweet deal. Stream now. Your first 7 days free.
A mother's shocking death.
Murdered inside a church.
I just remember screaming, the walls fell down.
I was too afraid to talk to the kids.
And a disturbing video.
The person seen in this chilling surveillance video.
The craziest thing about this was the way the person was dressed.
Lead to wild rumors.
2,000 tips.
People want to create their own stories.
And coming up, when a popular high school senior disappears.
I said, something is wrong.
A series of troubling clues.
So the big mystery is, who put the cell phone out there?
And with a devastating discovery.
We don't have all the bones, but we got enough to make an idea.
What really happened to Missy and Thomas?
Early morning murder at church.
45-year-old mother and fitness instructor was murdered.
Was murdered inside a
A
church.
crime that has drawn national attention.
Midlothian, Texas, 25 miles southwest of Dallas, a town known as the cement capital of the state, and now known for a notorious murder, perpetrated by this unruly killer.
And I thought, we've got the person on video, so this shouldn't be too hard. I never dreamed that it would be unsolved.
It's a rainy spring morning on April 18, 2016, when emergency crews arrive at the Creekside Church of Christ and discover a horrific sight. A 45-year-old mother of 3, bloody and unresponsive.
Your wife was just murdered inside of a church. I didn't know how to react.
I just remember going into full-blown shock. It was just awful. One of the most awful days of my life.
Terry Beavers, missing to her many friends, is down to earth and raises 3 daughters with her husband Randy.
She put her children before anything. There is no aspect of motherhood Missy was bad at. She was a fantastic mother.
And Missy made sure her daughters remained close to their faith.
She was a godly woman, and she tried to teach us God's way.
Missy was always a very fair, caring person.
If she saw that you were struggling, she would always be there to encourage you. She just always had really good intentions with helping anybody any way she could.
A former public school teacher, Missy combines her passion for helping others and her love for fitness when she becomes a certified trainer in 2013.
She took fitness to the next level. She didn't do anything 90%. She did everything 110%.
Missy even makes fitness a family affair.
There were many times that me and my siblings would go to her workouts, and she always had so much energy. I mean, she was like a kid on sugar. She made working out fun.
In 2016, Missy teaches a regular 5 a.m. outdoor class at the nearby Creekside Church. And on Sunday, April 17th, when she sees the forecast calling for showers, she rallies her students for the next morning's session.
Missy sends a post to her class participants that says, just because it's raining, just because it's storming, we're not going to cancel class.
Brandon, away on a fishing trip in Biloxi, Mississippi, checks in with his wife.
I told her it was raining over here, and later that evening, I texted her and I said, "Good night, babe, I love you."
Those are some of the last words the two will ever share. The next day, Missy leaves home before 4 a.m.
There were at least 2 or 3 participants who regularly came 30 minutes early, and Missy was always there to meet them.
4:16 a.m., Missy drives her pickup truck into the Creekside Church parking lot. 4 minutes later, she enters the church building. When Missy's students arrive and head to their normal classroom, they still stumble upon a horrific scene. Missy is lying on the ground in a pool of broken glass and blood.
Shortly after the students entered the church, we received a 911 calls, and that was just before 5 a.m. that morning.
Within 10 minutes, Midlothian police and fire departments arrive at the church, but it's too late.
Unfortunately, Missy was already deceased by the time the EMTs arrived.
Right away, they know Missy has been murdered.
We believe Missy was killed right around 4:20, approximately that morning.
So what happened to Missy in those early morning hours?
The church had security cameras on the exterior of the building.
But there's a problem.
Sometimes they did. Unfortunately, in this case, they weren't operational that morning.
But those aren't the only security cameras. Inside, they reveal a bone-chilling scene. At 3:46 a.m., they capture someone walking the halls of the church. And it doesn't look like he's come here to pray.
The craziest thing about this was the way the person was dressed, which has been described as a SWAT uniform. Helmet, black boots, and then a vest that said police on the back.
The individual slowly makes their way through the church, almost methodically.
The perpetrator seems to be taking their time and don't appear to be rushed, checking each and every room in a methodical, counterclockwise fashion. What they're looking for, I don't know.
Who is this mysterious person? Did they have a connection to Missy Beacon's death?
There's very little that we really know about the perp in terms of how tall they are, gender, race, because they were in this get-up.
At this point, it seems only one thing is certain.
They broke into the church through a service door into the kitchen on the north side of the church.
As the police process the crime scene, Missy's family deals with the devastating news. At 5 a.m., Missy's husband Brandon receives a call from one of her students.
This is Brandon, you need to get down here. Something's happened to Missy. And I said, what has happened? And he said, I don't really know. He said, Missy is no longer with us. And I didn't know what to do.
Brandon, hundreds of miles from home, doesn't know how to explain what's happened to their 3 young daughters.
I was too afraid to talk to the kids because I was too far away. And I didn't want to deal with the emotional aspect of that and not have them right in front of me. I couldn't wrap my arms around my children to console.
Brandon's family steps in to help. His mother and his sister Christy head to the house, searching in vain for the proper way to break the news.
I'm just thinking, my nieces are about to have the worst day of their life. They're about to find out they don't have a mom anymore.
Me and my siblings sat on the couch, and my grandma told me that something happened to our mom, and that she didn't make it. I just remember holding my little sister, and my older sister Hannah just screaming. The walls fell down, and I started to cry.
There will be as many questions as tears over the murder of Missy Beavers. Many linger as long as the pain. Exactly how was she killed? Who did it, and why?
Have you been injured? Not sure what to do next? With over 44 years of experience, Frank Horn and Associates Trial Lawyers, a professional association with 18 offices in 6 states, has what it takes to get you the representation you need and deserve.
And Frank Horn and Associates Trial Lawyers would have over 44 years of higher safety service for our injured clients. Frank Horn and Associates, name you know, name you trust.
FitTrack does more than just measure your weight. In fact, you can now measure your body fat percentage, bone density, hydration level, and 17 other health insights. Keep track of your progress by week, month, or even by year. Understanding which part of your body you need to improve on is now a lot easier thanks to FitTrack. FitTrack, helping you to measure what matters most. Go to KidTrack.com and buy it today.
Tonight's matchup, me versus the husband Bender. If I can eke out a win, it's going to be a miracle, baby.
Mr. Vitale, it wouldn't be a miracle because Geico gives you a team of experts to help manage you.
It's going to be a nail biter.
No, the Geico team is there for you 24/7.
Geico is awesome, baby. Oh. Too much?
I think you got it. Yeah.
Geico. Great service without all the drama.
Innovation transforms the world, turning the status quo upside down. Innovation created a healthcare system that not only improves the lives of veterans, it transforms the lives of healthcare professionals with unique opportunities to work with industry thought leaders while serving our nation's heroes. The Department of Veterans Affairs, where innovation ensures those who served our nation are served by the very best. See how a career in VA can transform your future.
Ace is the only hardware retailer that carries Benjamin Moore paint in over 3,800 stores. With Benjamin Moore's premium quality, huge selection of colors, plus Ace's award-winning service, you can be confident you're getting the best. Then buy in store or online for curbside pickup or free delivery. When you want the best, Benjamin Moore paint from Ace. Around the block, what you need in stock, with people who know their paint. Your local Ace has everything you need. And since we're right around the block, we'll deliver your paint for free. Ace is the place of the helpful hardware, folks.
This is a PSA from Frank Body. It's time to clean up the personal care industry. We need aluminum-free, sulfate-free, BS-free products. Introducing the Frank Body Everyday range. Clean personal care is finally here.
Midlothian, Texas. On April 18, 2016, 45-year-old Lisa Beavers was found lifeless on the floor of Creekside Church.
Since day one, it's felt like this isn't real. Like, this isn't my life. I wish she was here with us.
Missy's murders are a very prominent part of many people's recent memory in Midlothian. There's no doubt that the way that it happened and the place that it happened probably put a lot of people at unease.
Surveillance footage reveals an individual walking the halls shortly before Missy arrives.
This person was dressed very specifically, and some of the suspicion is that he was trying to look like a police officer because that's what his vest said.
While the killer's attire acts as a disguise, there's one characteristic that catches investigators' eyes: the person's distinctive gait.
It's been described in several ways. They drag a foot, or they favor one foot, or that one foot is kind of splayed outward.
The Midlothian PD releases the surveillance footage to the public in hopes that someone will recognize the killer.
We released some additional surveillance footage from inside the church just a few minutes ago, and that can be found on our social media sites.
This morning, the search is on for the person seen in this chilling surveillance video believed to be responsible for the death of fitness instructor Missy Beavers.
I just remember thinking, who in the world is that? And I'm watching them, and I was just weirded out by it.
The details started emerging, and I was fielding phone calls from news reporters. Look at the video. The person has a very distinct walk. What should be very apparent to somebody in a strange way, and we're thankful for the attention that this is receiving.
For the sake of the investigation, police do not disclose all the details of the crime, not even the weapon.
They initially told the public that it was death from a head wound, and then they altered that slightly. The cause of death was puncture wounds to the head and chest. And that's really all we know about how she died.
You can see this person with some kind of tool, and putting two and two together, she got hit in the head and it killed her.
But why would anyone want to kill this loving mother? Could she have just been in the wrong place at the same time?
It was described initially as a robbery gone awry.
Maybe this person had no idea that anyone was coming to that church, and the two of them clashed in a desperate struggle in which the perpetrator killed Missy.
There's just one problem with that theory.
Our investigation never revealed theft of any property from the church or Missy or Mrs. Carr.
Could Missy have specifically been targeted? Over the next several days, the Midlothian PD executes various search warrants and gathers information through Missy's cell phone and tablet.
Police determined that Brandon and Missy had what police call marital and financial struggles, and the media sort of pounced on the salacious aspects of it.
They talked to Brandon about extramarital affairs.
This is the question to get me to talk. You have reporters asking questions that are something more reserved for a Lifetime movie network. I mean, this is my wife and the mother of my children, and they're asking questions that were leading into areas that I was just not prepared to even ask at all. That's all I'm going to say. I got to get some water.
Police conclude there is absolutely no way Brandon is involved in Missy's death.
Brandon was on a company-sponsored fishing trip in Biloxi, Mississippi. We verified that alibi from several different sources, including eyewitness interviews.
Despite Brandon's declared innocence, rumors run wild on the internet. Social media commenters start feeding on the case like maggots.
People want to create their own stories and narratives about all of this, and about our family, and about Brandon and Missy, as if they knew them, and most of those people are total strangers.
Then, 4 days after his daughter-in-law is murdered, Brandon's father, Randy Peters, does something highly suspicious. He brings a bloody shirt to his local dry cleaner to be laundered.
The dry cleaner did what any good dry cleaner would do that has a murder being broadcast on the news, which is call the police.
The Midlothian PD already knows that Brandon was in California at the time of Missy's murder, but they don't want to leave any stone unturned, so they seize the shirt.
Police want to look at a bloody shirt.
Missy Peters' father-in-law dropped off some clothing. A search warrant shows police seized his property from a dry cleaner. Blood, red, all over white.
At this point, it's just circus life. Absolute circus life. There's helicopters flying around my house because the news of this bloody shirt thing has come to light. I called my father and I said, let's explain this thing and put this fire out as soon as possible. This is ridiculous.
Randy and Brandon speak to the press outside the Midlothian Police Department on April 27th.
I wanted to make sure that we get over here and put this fire out. Yeah. This is such a non-issue that we wanted to address it fast.
My wife has a small chihuahua.
As it turns out, speculation about Randy's involvement has no meaning.
One of my dogs attacked my stepmom's chihuahua, and my dad had to come in and separate the dogs, and there was blood on the dog from the injuries.
We confirmed the lab test that the blood on the shirt was from dog, not a person.
Almost a month passes. For Mrs. family, the initial shock of the murder gives way to the rock-hard finality of the fact that she's gone forever.
Everything kind of sink in, and you realize, okay, this isn't a joke. I'm never going to be able to talk to her ever again.
Justice might provide a measure of solace, but none is forthcoming.
I went through hell, and I came to a realization. I don't really know if we have any suspects. That was pretty disheartening.
2,000 tips, yet not a single suspect. Missy Peters' murder remains a mystery.
A lot of phone tips were called in. A lot of people came by the police department to offer up tips.
But none of the tips lead to an arrest. On May 20th, the Midlothian PD shares new information with the public.
We visited nearby businesses in an attempt to find video footage, surveillance footage, and one of those businesses was a sporting goods store on the opposite side of the highway.
Security cameras picked up a Nissan Altima pulling into the parking lot and acting rather strangely, driving slowly around the whole perimeter and turning its headlights on and off.
Even though it was 2 hours before Missy's murder, we wanted to run that lead down with the normal course of investigation.
But one thing missing from the strange video? A clear shot of the license plate. Midlothian PD does not release the entire video at this time, just a single frame that highlights a distinctive oval bumper sticker on the rear of the car.
We want to find something distinctive that will distinguish that car from all the other Nissan Altimas out on the road. And the best we came up with was the rear shot of the car with that oval sticker on the back.
To everyone's disappointment, no one comes forward as the driver of that car. As summer turns to autumn, the case cools with the weather. But before the year is over, a new tip will bring the family to the edge of hope and the cops to the brink of an arrest.
Police released 2 new details. Police say they're keeping track of a person of interest.
I think the police were very hopeful and excited, and they told us they had had a pretty promising lead. I thought it's going to be solved.
This credit app will save you money.
This credit app will save you money. This credit app will save you
You're gonna make that. Put it on like that.
What happened?
You were brainwashed to the trash. Only experience after you get your free FICO score.
Credit score 90% to top lenders.
Raise it instantly with Experian.
I got 13 points.
Boost your credit scores instantly only with
Experian.
Download the Experian app now.
My name is Jack, and I'm 8 years old. 500 or 50,000. Infinity Square dollars. They use like surprises. I haven't spent a penny in my bank account since I got one.
529 plan can help Jack save even more for college. Deduct up to $8,000 this year. Open a 529 account today.
Okay, I need a 529 account.
Our kids aren't so great at hiding. Gee, I wonder where the kids are. But we found out their clothes hide a lot. Turns out we can't even see 70% of the dirt that's trapped in their clothes, which concerned us, especially with their sensitive skin. That's why we always look for new Tide Hygienic Clean Free. It goes deep into fabrics to remove the visible and invisible dirt, and it's designed for sensitive skin. Hey, what's that? It's gotta be Tide Hygienic Clean Free.
Sea cuisine. There's premium seafood with the finest ingredients. Our chefs get the word. So you enjoy the flavor and comfort. Sea cuisine. Discover us in the frozen seafood section.
December 2016. 8 months after Missy Beavers dies from a brutal attack on a church. No suspects have been named. But someone who sparked the interest of police several months earlier is now back on their radar.
An individual named Bobby Wayne Henry is the only suspect who has ever been looked at seriously in this case. He was a former police officer and still owns tactical gear, but he told police in his interview that that gear no longer fit him.
He had also been suspended from his police duties in 1996 for aggravated sexual assault. And if that's not enough to raise an investigator's eyebrow, he has a unique walk.
Here's footage of Bobby Wayne Henry, and you can clearly see him walking around with his feet turned out, very similar to the gait of the perpetrator in the church video.
The strange coincidences don't end there. Bobby Henry may have crossed paths with Missy Beavers during Sunday services at the family's former church.
We were members of the church that Bobby Wayne Henry was a regular attendee of, and supposedly a security personnel.
Police are also interested to know why Bobby Henry got out of his way to be at Mrs. Memorial.
Following her death, there was a large vigil at the church, and he had volunteered to help with the security functions of the vigil.
Add it all up, and the equals incredible cause. On December 13th, the Midlothian PD issues a search warrant of Bobby Henry's home in Ennis, Texas.
They confiscated vehicles, electronics, and tactical gear.
I think the police were very hopeful and excited that they found something. But when everything came out, it had nothing to do with Missy. That was an emotional roller coaster. Getting excited and then getting let down.
Police confirmed that Bobby Wayne Henry was where he said he was. When he was in his home, tending to a newborn baby that he and his wife had recently adopted, while his wife got ready for work.
In a statement to Steel History, Bobby Henry says he never knew Missy, and that he's cooperated fully with the investigation, submitted DNA samples, and taken a polygraph test, none of which has linked him to the crime. 4 years pass, no arrests, no strong leads, no news.
It's frustrating that there's been no arrest. I can't imagine how frustrating that is to the Beaver's family. I have no way to even imagine how that would feel. But I am confident that one day we'll be able to say that we have every suspect and justice will be done.
With Mrs. Case still ongoing, her family takes comfort where she taught them to find him in their faith.
What's kept me going through this is knowing that God knows who did this, and the truth someday will be revealed.
The person responsible, they need to be held accountable. My kids, their mother was, and I can't make up for that.
I wish she was here with us. And I wish she could experience healing Sarah growing up.
But they believe that even if the case doesn't conclude with an act of justice, it can end with an act of grace.
I don't want to be holding a grudge for the rest of my life. So I'd rather just find peace in God and carry on my mom's legacy.
November 24th, 2016, Canadian, Texas.
Right now, Hemphill County deputies still searching for an 18-year-old Canadian boy. Last seen Leslie and I been missing for 5 days.
When a young man turns out dead, this idyllic town is shaken to its core.
I can't explain, the emotions that we are going through. I said, something is wrong. This is not right at all.
It was like he just poof disappeared. But any good investigator will tell you, it's not what you find, it's what you don't find.
18-year-old Thomas Brown is one of the most popular kids in Canadian.
He played on the football team, he was in drama, he was class president.
Tom was one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet. He was just very kind and compassionate.
He was not a troublemaker. Even at home, I didn't have to discipline him. My biggest problem was probably getting him to carry out the trash.
November 23rd. It's the day before Thanksgiving, and Thomas is hanging out with his older brother, Tucker, who's home from college for the holiday.
They were in the living room, just playing games.
At 6 p.m., Thomas tells his parents he has plans for the night.
He said, hey, I'm going to go hang out with some friends, and can I have your debit card? And I said, you're killing me, kid. And he just kind of laughed and walked out the door.
Canadian Tex, there's not much to do. So the kids get in their cars and they cruise around the town. They go up and down the drive. They stop and get ice cream.
Thomas's curfew is midnight, and he always arrives home on time.
I hear Tucker and his friend talking, and so I walked into the living room and I said, did Thomas come in? And they said, oh no, not yet.
By 12 a.m., there's no sign of Thomas. Penny waits about 10 minutes before sending him a text.
I I just thought, you know, he's either on his way, he's in a place where he doesn't have cell service.
Several more minutes pass, and her son still hasn't arrived home, and he isn't responding to her texts. Then, Penny notices something odd.
The last text message I sent, I realized was not delivered. The others have been delivered, this one's not delivered. He had a car charger in his car to charge his phone. So I knew that it was very, very unlikely that his phone just died because it was out of power. Something is wrong. This is not right at all.
Penny's mind is racing. Why is her son's phone turned off? At approximately 12:30 a.m., Penny and Tucker head out into town searching for Thomas.
We didn't really discuss where we were going. We just kind of went separate ways.
They drive around Canadian for over an hour, but Thomas is nowhere to be found. When they return home, Penny frantically contacts the friends that Thomas had been out with that night.
The friends last saw him, I believe, in the parking lot of the middle school when everybody went back to their cars. His friends said, you know, when we left Thomas, he was in good spirits. Nothing was out of the ordinary.
Where is Thomas Brown?
Have you been injured? Not sure what to do next? With over 44 years of experience, Frank Horn and Associates Trial Lawyers, a professional association with 18 offices in 6 states, has what it takes to get you the representation you need and deserve.
I'm Frank Horn and Associates Trial Lawyers. We have over 44 years of live settlements verdict for our injured clients. Frank Horn and Associates, name your nose, name your place.
If you printed out directions to get here today, you're in the right place. My seminars are a great tool to help young homeowners who are turning into their parents. Now remember, they're not programs, they're TV shows. You woke up early, no one cares. Yes, I was using something called Home Quote Explorer for Progressive to easily compare home insurance rates. Was I hashtagging?
Progressive can't help you from becoming your parents, but we can help you compare rates on home insurance with Home Quote Explorer.
Guess what? Waiter doesn't need to know your name.
Some recipes taste better when you're prepared together. Just enough happiness, a pinch of fun, and finally, a delicious touch. Because Nutella always adds something tasty. Nutella, wake up to wow.
What makes Discovery Plus the greatest collection of real-life entertainment on the planet? Do the math. 55,000 episodes.
What?
200 exclusive originals every year, and it's available commercial-free. Oh. Get up to 1 year of Discovery Plus on Verizon with select unlimited plans. Sweet deal.
She's a winner.
It's everything you're into.
You can't make this stuff up.
Unbelievable! Discovery Plus. Stream what you love.
On the night of November 23, 2016, 18-year-old high school senior Thomas Brown fails to return home after an evening out with friends. At around 2 a.m., Thomas's parents decide that it's time to call the sheriff's department and report him missing.
They knew something was wrong because this didn't fit Thomas's character profile.
A deputy is sent to the family's home, and he asks Thomas's brother Tucker to accompany him in a search around town.
Tucker probably knew where to go more than I did because he knows where the kids go.
At approximately 6 a.m., the deputy drops Tucker back at home. They can't find Thomas anywhere.
I think that most of us were just hoping that he had maybe gotten upset and just had gone off to be by himself for a little while or something.
Later that morning, shortly after 7:30 a.m., a friend of Thomas's, who had seen him the night before, has an idea.
Her dad owns a helicopter. He trains pilots, that sort of thing. So they fired up one of the helicopters, started searching.
As they approach the town, they spot a red SUV parked underneath the trees near a sewage treatment plant.
They came in and hovered, and they discovered that, in fact, it was Tom's car. They called the sheriff's department.
Deputies are immediately dispatched to the scene. The distinctive writing on the driver's side window confirms the vehicle belongs to Thomas, but the 18-year-old is nowhere to be found.
There was no damage to the car.
No keys were in it. His school backpack was not in there. His phone wasn't in there, wallet, nothing like that.
There's no sign of a struggle, but on the inside of the driver's door, a small spot of blood is visible.
The sheriff said it was just a few droplets of blood. It was no big deal. Looked like somebody cut their finger.
It had been described as like drops, maybe from a nosebleed.
The sheriff conducts a search of the sewage plant and the surrounding area.
They brought the dogs in, sniffed the car, and they began a grid search with the helicopter.
But the sheriff's department doesn't find any clues that point to Thomas's whereabouts. They present two grim theories.
The sheriff originally told the family two things: that either Tom committed suicide or that Tom was a runaway.
To family and friends, suicide is the last thing anyone would suspect.
He was very much looking forward to going to college. There was absolutely no reason for Thomas to commit suicide.
The following afternoon, on Thanksgiving Day, the sheriff's office returns Thomas's truck to the family, a move that surprises his mother Penny.
I knew that it had not been processed. No fingerprinting, nothing from the car. So I was very disturbed about that.
Days pass with no news from the sheriff's department.
And deputies say if nothing turns up, the case will soon be classified as a recovery mission.
But Penny feels the sheriff's department could be doing more.
They did not rope off anything around or near Thomas's car as a potential crime scene.
Worried that the sheriff is ignoring the possibility of foul play, Penny decides to reach out to private investigator Philip Klein. Klein is surprised to learn the sheriff seems to have already made up his mind.
They said he was a runaway or it was a suicide to the family. At the time, we didn't see any evidence of that. He didn't have money, he didn't have a ride, he didn't have clothes, he didn't have underwear. I mean, no money, no car, I mean, come on.
This was the night before Thanksgiving. A lot of friends were in town, family was coming together. It was a happy time. And when Thomas left his friends, they all said he was in good spirits.
Klein begins his investigation by focusing on Thomas's last known movements. The friends who were with him on the night of his disappearance say they all left the middle school parking lot in their own cars shortly after 11 p.m. At 11:28 p.m., Thomas uses Penny's debit card at a local gas station.
I have an app on my phone that would show purchases for the day. So I knew he had gotten gas there.
But what happened after Thomas left the gas station is anyone's guess. Phone records indicate that his cell phone emitted its final ping almost 45 minutes later at 12:18 a.m.
The last ping was near the football field.
Then the phone is powered off, but other evidence shows Thomas's vehicle stays on the move.
There is surveillance video from around Canadian of what looks like Thomas's SUV driving around at night. The problem is nobody can see who's driving. So it may be Thomas, it may be somebody else.
At approximately 1 a.m., Thomas's SUV is spotted by cameras about a half mile from the gas station. The vehicle isn't seen again for almost 5 hours. Then, shortly before 6 a.m., a camera at the county's recreational complex shows a red SUV turning onto the dirt road that leads to the sewage treatment facility.
You can see it actually go up the hill a little bit and then turn and the lights go off. The truck was found in the same place that the camera shows it.
Klein's team conducts an examination of Thomas's SUV and makes a startling discovery. On the front passenger floorboard is a 25mm spent shell casing.
It was kind of confusing to us how the sheriff and his team missed all that. I mean, that's just something you don't miss.
The family is certain that the gun must have belonged to someone other than Thomas.
Thomas did not like guns. I don't think he had ever shot a gun. My husband and Tucker and I do not have a .25 caliber.
Without any new leads, the case goes cold. Then, in January 2017, 2 months after Thomas's disappearance, there's a discovery.
Thomas's backpack was found by an electrical worker out on this property near Marvin Road.
Convinced there's more evidence in the area, Klein organizes a search. Nearly 300 people volunteer to help.
There were 12 miles between the entrance to Lake Marvin Road and the entrance to Lake Marvin itself. And we worked each of those miles.
The search turns up potentially new evidence, including books, a pair of shoes, and a holster for a .25 caliber handgun, the same caliber as the bullet casing in Thomas's vehicle.
There's no way to know if the gun holster is even connected to Thomas's case at all. Lake Marvin Road is a very large natural area, so anybody could have dropped anything at any time.
But one new piece of evidence is much more promising.
The big find was a cell phone. Interestingly enough, the cell phone was in pristine condition. It had not been water damaged. It looked like it had been placed there.
The phone is sent to the FBI lab in Quantico, Virginia for processing. Surprisingly, the lab confirms the phone is Thomas Brown's. But the phone provides no additional leads.
The phone had been powered off at 12:18. It had never been powered back on. No fingerprints, no DNA. So the big mystery is, who put the cell phone back there?
10 more months passed with no further leads. Klein knows the initial search of Thomas's SUV by the sheriff's office had only found a tiny drop of blood in the driver's side door. His team decides to conduct a more thorough examination.
When we got the car for the third time, we had it stored up in Penny's garage. We bagged it, tagged it, sealed it.
Experts scrape the interior of the SUV with luminol and discover something shocking, significant blood stain.
It wasn't just droplets of blood, it was a smear. They took a sample of the blood smear. The blood smear came back as Tom's.
And those aren't the only bloodstains the Klein team finds.
We also saw what we call pooling to the left side on the floorboard and on the seat, which looked like it had been cleaned up. We also saw pooling near the steering wheel, and we saw some blood spatter.
The discovery convinces Klein that Thomas Brown is neither a suicide nor a runaway.
My instincts immediately went to a homicide investigation, not a missing person investigation.
But the local sheriff disagrees.
The sheriff said that he didn't see any foul play involved. How he came to that conclusion is still one of the mysteries we don't know.
Klein Investigations says there was evidence that was missed by the sheriff's team, namely blood in Thomas Brown's vehicle and a shell casing from a .25 caliber gun.
Thomas's mother Penny starts a petition asking the Texas Attorney General's office to take over the case.
I was very dissatisfied with the sheriff's department, things they had done, things they had told me. I just wanted answers.
In February 2018, Penny gets the news she's been waiting for. The Attorney General's office agrees to take on the case.
I finally felt like it would be investigated properly.
Then, on January 9th, 2019, more than 2 years after Thomas vanishes, a devastating discovery is made in a wooded area off Lake Marvin Road.
We get a phone call from the AG's office saying, hey, we got skull, we got fingers, we don't have all the bones, but we got enough to make an ID.
Tonight, the remains of missing Canadian teen Thomas Brown have been found.
For Thomas's family, their worst fears have come true.
We had always hoped that he would come home. We had been given so much misinformation about him just being gone or he had run away, and so it was just final that he wasn't.
We just cried and cried for hours, just years of knowing something bad had happened and holding it inside, just kind of all released that night.
But what can the remains tell investigators about what happened to Thomas Brown?
Have you been injured? Not sure what to do next? With over 44 years of experience, Frank Horn and Associates Trial Lawyers, a professional association with 18 offices in 6 states, has what it takes to get you the representation you need and deserve.
I'm Frank Horn, Frank Horn Associates. fly low. We have over 44-year higher settlements and verdicts by injured county. Frank Horn Associates, name you know, name you trust.
Start your day with Secret. Secret stops sweat 3 times more than ordinary antiperspirants. The new Pro-Vitamin B5 formula is gentle on skin. With Secret, outlast anything. No sweat. Secret. Feeling stressed with your skin? Not with new Olay Retinol Body Wash, which improves skin 3 times better, from dry and stressed to bright and smooth. So I can feel my best in my skin. Olay Body, fearless in my skin. You connect more to your Wi-Fi than ever before. That's why we're committed to building you a safer, more secure Wi-Fi network for every device in the house. Xfinity, the future of awesome.
Home to making your bed, planting yourself, and settling in. Home to your happy place.
Ace is the only hardware retailer that carries Benjamin Moore paint at over 3,800 stores. With Benjamin Moore's premium quality, huge selection of colors, plus Ace's award-winning service, you can be confident you're getting the best. Then buy in store or online for curbside pickup or free delivery. When you want the best, Benjamin Moore paint from Ace. Around the block, what you need in stock, with people who know their paint. Your local Ace has everything you need, and since we're right around the block, we'll deliver your paint for free. Ace is the place for helpful hardware, folks.
Homes have always been at the heart of Lowe's, in all shapes and sizes. All homes are part of the community. Right now, something needs a little extra hand in fixing a shared garden, library, recreation center. So on our 100th birthday, we're helping 100 hometowns across the country make their communities just a little bit better. To take part, nominate your hometown by April 19th. We've never just been an improvement store. We're Lowe's. Home to any possibility.
Discovery Plus has your number. 55,000 episodes.
Plus
200 exclusive originals every year. Plus, get up to 1 year of Discovery Plus on Verizon with select unlimited plans. Sweet deal. Stream what you love.
When the remains of 18-year-old Thomas Brown were discovered in a rural area on the edge of town, investigators in Canadian Texas hope they can finally learn what happened to him on the night of his disappearance. But the results are inconclusive.
Because there were so few remains found, there's really no way to tell what happened that night.
There are a few new details, but we do now know who found Thomas's remains.
The discovery is made by a deputy from the sheriff's office who claims he was walking through the area at night looking for deer antlers. His account leaves private investigator Philip Klein bewildered.
We had run the cadaver dog in that area 2 or 3 times, but not in that little four-cornered area because we did not have permission to go on the property. All of a sudden, his deputy's going to take a break and goes for a walk and finds a body where he's looking for deer antlers. I mean, it's such a convoluted story.
To the family of Thomas Brown, it's one of the myriad questions surrounding the case, many of which revolve around the initial investigation.
The thing that I don't understand about the former sheriff, it appears that he went to such great lengths to not investigate the case.
I think law enforcement wanted an easy answer to this case, and it turned out to be a lot more complicated than they were hoping.
Based on the evidence he's collected so far, Klein has his own theory on Thomas's disappearance.
Do I believe this is a homicide? Yes. Whatever happened out there towards that football stadium.
Klein believes that Thomas left the gas station and drove to the football stadium, perhaps to meet a friend.
Someone came up and tried to play games to scare him a little bit, and then accidentally shot him in the back of the head, killed him. That's my belief.
Klein thinks the killer got rid of Thomas's body and then drove the SUV to the area near the sewage treatment plant where it was quickly abandoned.
They missed the showcase and they missed some of the blood. Some of the blood they did get cleaned up. It was a half-assed cover-up job.
On May 2, 2019, it's reported that the sheriff's deputy who discovered Thomas's remains was fired. The reason? The county attorney refused to handle any more of his cases.
The deputy was sending cases to the prosecutors without sufficient probable cause.
6 months later, the sheriff himself resigns after being reprimanded by the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement for false documentation of training hours.
Then it also came out that he falsified a missing persons report.
Deputy Brent Clapp said other documents related to a missing persons case were also fabricated.
There's only one missing person in Hillsborough County, and that is Thomas.
The former sheriff has a problem with the truth and reality. That's why he's no longer sheriff.
I think it was in his best interest to resign, or they were going to ask him to leave at that point.
The family is hopeful Thomas's case will finally get the attention they feel it deserves. But then, hope continues. The Texas Attorney General suspends the investigation into Thomas Brown's death, stating there's no conclusive evidence of foul play.
The day that they told us that, it was like a sucker punch to the gut.
Currently, his death officially is undetermined. They can't say if it was homicide, they can't say if it was suicide, or even natural causes.
Both the former and current sheriff of Hemphill County declined to speak with Steel Mystery. Still, Thomas's family continues to seek answers.
I think there are people who definitely know what happened to Thomas, and they don't want it out. They do not want it known.
I guarantee you that we're not going to let it go. We're like a dog with a bone. We're just not going to let it go. Because you know what? Tom deserves it.
I feel like justice obviously isn't going to bring Tom back. It's not going to replace, that hole that we had missing of Tom. But I think that will help with the healing process.
Until then, Penny is left to wonder why her son was taken from her.
Thomas had tons of friends. Thomas was a funny guy. People liked to be with Thomas. He made you feel